Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Neil, we can see you coming.
July 20th, 1969. Apollo 11 makes contact with the surface of the moon. When landed, Neil Armstrong infamously states,
"That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."
This quote represents how although one man is stepping on the moon, it is a huge achievement to the human race as a whole. Not only himself, but the engineers, mathematicians, scientists, and other astronauts who lost their lives, ultimately contributing to the betterment of the program. One of these engineers was a woman named Margaret Hamilton. Margaret Hamilton was a fundamental member of a group of MIT engineers that designed the Apollo guidance computer for orbital rendezvous and lunar landing. Margaret Hamilton's positive influence on the program was the first most documented and major accomplishment by a woman. By looking back in history, we can find a reason why this took so long to happen. June 16th, 1963. Vostok 6 shocks the world. On a relatively routine mission, the Soviet Union decided to send Valentina Tereshkova to space aboard an R-7 rocket, making her the first woman to pass the Kármán line and orbit Earth. This mission's purpose was to test communications between two spacecraft in orbit, as Vostok 5 reached orbit 2 days prior. The American media reacts to this achievement by shunning NASA for allowing the Soviets to accomplish another achievement first. However, the main reason for this outrage is because America had the chance to beat the Soviet Union with their Mercury 13 program, but chose not to. The Mercury 13 program was a group of 13 females, all put through the same testing as their Mercury 7 male counterpart. However, unlike the Mercury 7, none of the Mercury 13 would fly, except for Wally Funk, flying aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket about 6 decades after the program's cancellation. The official reason for this was because the current president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, thought the harsh conditions of space was only suitable for pilots with jet plane experience, and given the fact that women weren't allowed to fly jet-powered aircraft until 1973, women were essentially banned from being sent to space under United States authority. Even when this ban was removed, the second woman to go to space would once again be a Soviet. In 1982, another Soviet by the name of Svetlana Skavitskaya would fly to space, becoming the second female to once again pass the Kármán line and orbit the Earth. However, another first would be made by the Soviets. Given this mission would be to dock to a brand new Soviet space station, Skavitskaya would be the first woman to go on a spacewalk. Shortly after this mission, with the new development of the space shuttle, the United States would finally run out of reasons to not send a woman of their own to space. June 18th, 1983. Final preparations for the Space Shuttle's 7th flight are made as the crew board their ship, ready for a historic flight.
And ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Sally Ride is on board this mission, becoming the first American woman to pass the Kármán line and orbit Earth, deploying 2 satellites and running various experiments in the process. A year and a half later, on STS-41G, Sally Ride would return to space to support the first American female spacewalk, performed by Kathryn D. Sullivan. Since these 2 missions, it is not uncommon to see an American female go to space. The Crew 1 launch, for instance, was the first official launch to the International Space Station from American soil since the Space Shuttle's retirement in 2011. This historic mission featured Shannon Walker, a well-renowned astronaut on her 6th flight to the International Space Station. Margaret Hamilton, Sally Ride, Kathryn Sullivan, and Shannon Walker are only 4 examples of people who showed the world that barriers of gender can be torn down with enough inspiration, making the world a better place for all of mankind.